Welcome, my friends. Today we've got Amos 2, verse 6. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Israel, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they sold the righteous for silver, and the poor for a pair of shoes. Okay, so judgment doesn't stop with the pagans. It begins, though, with God's people. And this verse pulls back the curtain on a truth that many would rather avoid. You see, God sees how people treat one another, and he holds them accountable for it. Israel wasn't condemned here for a lack of ceremony or empty rituals. They were condemned for injustice, for valuing money above righteousness, and for trampling over the vulnerable like local councils do in Australia today. They sold the righteous for silver. That means integrity was traded for profit. Truth had a price tag. Conscience was negotiable. And when a society reaches the point where right and wrong can be bought and sold, judgment isn't far behind, my friends. And the poor for a pair of shoes. In other words, human dignity was treated cheaply, as it still is today. The weak were disposable, as they are today, according to some mayors and some councils. Convenience mattered more than compassion, and God does not overlook that. He never has, and he never will. Now, this passage reminds us that obedience to God is not only about words spoken in our worship, it's also about the choices that we make in our daily life. How we conduct business, how we treat the vulnerable, how we value honesty over gain. These are all acts of obedience or disobedience before the Lord. Israel had the law. They had prophets. They had warnings. Yet they chose greed over godliness. And the penalties followed exactly as God declared. Not because he delights in punishments, but because he is just. And justice demands accountability. So obedience protects more than the individual. It protects the communities. It protects the families. It protects the nations. When people walk in God's ways, fairness grows, integrity strengthens, and mercy flows. But when obedience is cast aside, corruption spreads and consequences follow behind. Now, this verse is not ancient history only. It is standing principle. God doesn't change. He still sees. He still measures. He still responds. So choose obedience in the small dealings you have, as well as with the great ones. Value righteousness above profit. Treat every person as bearing worth before God, because the Lord watches the Lord who watches the marketplace also watches the heart, and he will not turn away judgment where obedience has been knowingly refused. Remember, my friends, I love you all, but he will always love you so much more. Bless you.